Welcome to Will at Work. I'm Kevin. We are probably close to, if not over, 300 game consoles by the time we're watching this in my collection, going back all the way to 1972. So where we are now, there's not too many left that are in my immediate collection, although I continue to collect, and I will continue to add new things to this list as we go. If you've been watching this for a while, you've probably been seeing a new console pop up every day. That will eventually end, and you'll start to see them pop up less frequently, but every so often there will be a new one or an old one that'll be on the list. This here is the Nintendo 64. It is one of the last systems, especially major systems. It is the last major system that was released in the United States that I don't have already on here, and is not a really current system. I do have the most recent systems, which we'll go over in future videos. But with the Nintendo 64, honestly not a good console. People look at this thing, they look back on it, and they've got rose-colored glasses. I see it all the time. It's not great. It had some good games, but most of the games for it were not good. It had a lot of bad games, and it had some problems. Now, capability-wise, this thing should have been amazing. It had a processor that was significantly faster than what was in the PlayStation at that time, especially in the Sega Saturn. It had a great graphical processor that was capable of lots of graphical effects that had to be programmed manually and use processing cycles and things like the PlayStation that the Nintendo 64 could do natively. It had a lot of RAM, and it offered a RAM expansion that you would purchase and put this memory thing in here and expand the RAM so that the system could run on, what is it, 8 megs of RAM or something? It took cartridges. The system didn't do very well sales-wise. It did okay in some respects, but it was never going to be on the order of what the PlayStation sold. I think it was the third most popular system, followed after the Sega Saturn, which also didn't do well. But the reason for the Nintendo not doing great, a lot of people might think, well, it's because everybody went CD and everybody wanted a CD. That's not really what it was. In fact, had this system worked out the way it was supposed to, cartridges would have probably been acceptable, and you probably would have seen the games that were on CD just as equally placed on cartridge, including video and sound, and etc. But why that didn't happen is because, unfortunately, Nintendo had all of this great hardware inside of this unit, but they had come up with this, unified memory system where the memory could be accessed by any different processor on the board, main processor, video processor, sound processor, etc. But the RAM was terribly slow, latency slow, really, really slow. And it made it so, the CPU to fetch things out of the RAM, especially like the graphics processor, was just too slow. And it really impacted the performance of games to the point where, putting like texture maps and things and pulling those out of RAM and putting them on, it wouldn't go. It also had some other oddball limitations in terms of how big a texture could be and this sort of stuff, but for the time that might have been acceptable, and you could probably have done tricks to get around it. But the RAM was just, it would ruin the performance of this system. And how developers got around that, for the most part, was that they could use higher speed RAM in the cartridges and address the cartridge directly. So in some ways, the cartridge saved this system. While people were wondering, hey, when are they going to have like the 64DD add-on released for this in the United States? Or when are they going to have... I went online and I was looking for the most technically superior third-party game that wasn't from Nintendo proper. And people were saying that this game is one of the most technically superior games that were out for the N64 at the time from third parties. Not sure about that. Not sure why it just restarted itself. But let's take a look here. Seems like it's rebooting itself for some reason. Hold on. Come on, N64. Stop playing games. N64 Expansion Pack Enhanced. I really wonder how much that memory helped games, really. If it was as slow as they say. I don't know. Got the old rumble pack pop in the bottom, so the game rumbles. Apparently there's no way to bypass this. N64 did bring us analog control, which Sony ripped off for the DualShock. They had Rumble, which Sony also ripped off for the DualShock. You know, Nintendo had it first. But you know, overall, they they had bumpers. The controller was a weird design, with the stick in the middle and the D-pad on the left like that. But you know, the camera buttons, they were still trying to figure it out. But it's not uncomfortable. It works pretty good for what they needed it to do. This is a good example of kind of that wide open space, not a lot of detail.
Let's lend a hand. Yes, sir. Drop your weapons. You're under arrest.
But you know, capable.
I'm hit.
Trying to figure out the buttons here. Let's avoid the tree.
Roger, roger. Roger, roger.
Finally.
I'm hit. I have one on my tail. See if you can help me out. Good job.
Can't figure this radar out. It's like, I guess I'm supposed to go towards this orange cone to the north.
I can't make another
Not
direct
quite
hit.
sure what I'm doing. People just screaming in the microphone that they're dying.
Thanks for the assist.
What? What do you want me to do? This is some thrilling shit, ain't it? I know, I know. I think this changes it up, though. Like, this isn't the whole game or anything. Like, I think you eventually go off into space and stuff. So it's some little toadling thing.
Incoming snap. Protect this area.
Okay. Sorry, I had to concentrate on what I was doing. This is so gripping and thrilling. Oh, there's more. I'm gonna have to edit this shit out. Okay, so we're looking at Perfect Dark. And this was, you know, at a time when a lot of game consoles couldn't do full screen 3D, right? PlayStation could do it, kind of a reduced resolution. I think maybe the Saturn could do it with some tricks. I mean, there's lots of ways to do things on the Saturn to make Saturn do stuff, but can't quite remember just off the top of my head if it had things like Doom on it and stuff, but probably. But a lot of consoles, like the Jaguar, could do it. A little bit limited because it had some rush stuff with it. So the screen had to be a little bit smaller, and it wasn't a full copy of Doom, etc. But it did Aliens vs. Predator. But a lot of other systems just were not capable. 3DO, for instance, just couldn't do it as far as I know. Maybe there was a version of Doom for the 3DO. A lot of things get refined over the years. It's hard to know. I can't remember. But anyway, the N64 did a really good job of giving the full frame first-person shooter type experience. And, you know, with Doom, for instance, all of the enemies are sprites, where here, you know, the people are 3D models, etc. You have transparency effects and lighting and shading and, you know, all the fun stuff. Where we going, man? That guy. So silly. Okay. Simulator trading room. So the floor kind of looks reflective, and you know, that's really cool for a system of this era. I mean, it's it really did some cool things graphically. Design-wise, I don't know. Perfect Dark Some people really like it. Some people thought it missed the mark after GoldenEye being so great. I don't know. It's funny, GoldenEye. That movie was, you know, but sure had a great game. One of the few movie tie-ins, especially of that era, where I don't know, I think the game was better than the film. It's not like Pierce Brosnan's like 007, and it's got the Denise Richards in there or something. Denise Richards. Yeah, how do I prepare for the mission? Is there something I'm supposed to do? Let's go in here. Probably need a gun, right?
A star agent.
Hi.
I'm sure I don't need to tell you what to shoot at.
Yeah, we're in high-res mode. Makes no real difference.
Hi.
Hiya.
There's your computer. Can I have this gun? How do I get a gun?
Don't you have to be somewhere?
Can I have that? Keep this one. Can I have that one? Can't have any of them. Okay. I'll go on the mission without a gun. Open the door. Where am I supposed to go? Damn it. I've played this in so long, I have no memory of what I'm supposed to do. Just emptiness, vomit. That was just where I was at. Maybe it's this one. This is like the target room, right? Yeah. That's a good question. What can you do?
What can I do for you? Hello. Some last minute training, huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yep, this is lame. This is just how it was. Okay, I'm all done, right? That's all the training I'm going to do. Can I leave? Can I just like start the mission? Is there like a way to do that? Let me in. Woo! Probably clear directions would have been good. Just letting me get ready to start the mission has led me down into nothing. Just some subterranean tunnels. Not a good experience. There's probably like some terminal I have to go to that just says start the mission. I just got to go click on that and play the game. Oop, dead end hallway again.
Cease.
Hey, it's done, cease. Okay, that's where I started.
Hello, Joanna.
Hey,
I'm a little busy at the moment, Agent Dark.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, what are you supposed to do? All that training? That's not fun. All right, so let's move on. Perfect Dark, not good. Look at the road rash. Actually partied with one of the guys from Pacific Coast Party and Light back in the day. He had put my friend Eric in this game. I don't know how to unlock him or anything. I don't think this is a particularly good version of Road Rash. Anyway. He did get the 3D model thing. Whoopity-doo! So, not so great, even though I came in first place. Okra Battle 64. Let's take a look at this if it works. This is more of a strategy game, but highly rated. Don't think it's going to work. It's the Japanese version. There's a way to do it. You can like saw down the pegs, and then the game will work. But in this case, not. So anyway, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I could put Super Mario in and stuff, but there's a million people out there that shown all the best games. I just kind of wanted to walk through a little handful of the ones that weren't so great. Or the experience of, I know Perfect Dark is well loved, but, you know, that particular experience is lacking. You know, I don't hate this system. There's way worse systems in the N64, don't get me wrong, but Nintendo, yeah, had they just had an extra year on this particular system, they could have had a refined that memory problem. They would have had a real powerhouse on their hands. And I just feel like it's a shame in a way that it missed the mark to that extent, and you know, they ended up where they were in third place. You know, look, Nintendo, they battled back. They didn't go out of business. You know, GameCube didn't do well, but they